G'day, classical music lovers. It's the Martian here again, talking about music and doing stuff to do with music. And today it's hymns. Today I'm going to rewrite the Old Hundredth, one of the greatest hymns in the Anglican canon, of which there are many great hymns in the Anglican canon. Many. And yes, I'm an atheist, but it doesn't stop me from appreciating the quality of the music and the passion that goes into the music, the performance, the words, the arrangements, all those incredible hymns that are in the canon of the Anglican Church and the Methodist Church. There's so many great Welsh hymns, so many great English hymns, far more than there are great American hymns, which there aren't that many, in my opinion. Go ahead and disagree with me, all you Americans, but the best stuff, in my opinion, is from the British Isles. It's mostly English and Welsh. Oh, the Scots have done some good stuff too, and the Irish, of course. Now, the Old Hundredth. So let's just have a very quick look at it. Of course, it's based on the 100th Psalm, of which there's a number of sets of words, which I'll talk about later. I'll talk about the words later, because what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do after I've introduced the whole scope of the subject, is to rewrite the words. So why would I want to rewrite the words to a great hymn? Well, because I'm an atheist, and words like God, what? I'll just find the good one. Here we go. The best one is by Kethe. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. All people on earth do dwell, sing to the Lord with a cheerful voice, fine. But then we get to the Lord, you know, is God indeed. Without our aid he did us make. We are his flock, etc. And it's basically saying, yes, God created us, and without our aid. And I take issue with that. As an atheist, a scientist, it doesn't sit well with me. I was created by my parents. They made it probably without his aid, I would say. So it all needs to be rewritten. And of course, I don't believe in the Lord God Almighty, certainly not in the sense the Bible would like me to believe it. So it's got to go. From my point of view, it's got to go. And all fellow atheists can come along with me on the journey. And if you are a confirmed Christian and you think that Jesus Christ is your Saviour and God created the world in 6 days and he separated the light from the dark, if you believe all that crap, if you believe the words of the books of Moses, well, you're a fool. Sorry, you're a fool. If you believe that shit, you're a fool. Alright, so this is not my first rodeo. I, of course, invented the doctrine of infinite dimensions. I created the Church of Infinite Dimensions, and it's really a church for atheists, perhaps, or a church for scientists. I've removed God from the equation, so there's no God. There's no God in my religion. There's no God. There's no devil. You can commit sins. You can commit sins. I talk about various thorny topics like contraception, abortion, homosexuality, overpopulation, capital punishment. I discuss all these matters and provide a theological basis for the church's position on those things. Anyway, that's only one aspect of it. There's various other things. There's the symbol, the holy symbol the tegraph, which is like the electron cloud distribution of a methane molecule. And we have, of course, the Thelid calendar, which will tell you that today is Chevro, the 12th of Devada, 12,026, which is a rational positivist calendar and a great alternative to the current one we've got. Anyway, I won't talk about that here. What I want to talk about is the hymns. So one of the things I've done, because I love the music of the old hymns. There's so much great music there. It'd be a shame to throw it away. So what I've done is to rewrite a lot of these great hymns with different words. I've tried to find subjects that suit the feel of the hymn, and I've written new words. For example, springtime. So in Crimond, the original song Crimond, the Lord's my shepherd, right? Of course, I will not want bloody, bloody, blah, religious doctrine. So, but I've changed it because it felt to me like a springtime hymn, and I've talked all about springtime. So it's now a hymn about spring. There's no reference to the Lord God Almighty. All the references are about the world, you know, and the smell of spring and little ones being born, and the good things you can do in spring. Open the windows and let in the nice fresh air. Go for a walk outside. Catch a rainbow. You know, things like that that ordinary people can do, and it's all true. You know, it's stuff that everyone knows. And you can sing it to this hymn, that the hymn suits that kind of feel. And another one is the mundane, which is set to Amazing Grace, because Amazing Grace, for some reason, the most famous hymn of all, especially in America, but in my opinion it's overrated. I think it's a very ordinary hymn. So I wrote a set of verses, just about ordinary activities of the ordinary person during the day. And so it goes. Bless the child is Lobe den Herren, the old praise to the Lord the Almighty, great hymn. But in this case, it's we wish the child all happiness, joy, and elation. So it's all about a blessing to the child. And so it goes with all of these hymns. So I've got Utopia, which is a reworking of Jerusalem. Hubert Parry's Immortal Classic from 1916. Got rid of all the stuff about Chariots of Fire, and I mean, it's great words from William Blake. Wrote great words, Chariots of Fire, and Jerusalem, building Jerusalem amongst the dark satanic mills. Well, that's all kind of dated now, and we don't need Jerusalem in it anyway. So I just changed it from Jerusalem to Utopia, to give an idea of the dream of humanity, of what we should aim for with our existence, with our society, with our culture, what we should be trying to do. And it's a massive hymn, so it needed a massive subject, and there it is. It's the subject of the human race, huge subject. What we should do, what we should not do, what we should stand against. It's a really strong hymn with a really strong, the words are strong, the tune's strong, they work together. And so it goes. Anyway, so I've done a lot of stuff, I think 20 hymns, roughly 20 hymns I've rewritten. And so today I'm going to rewrite the 100th Psalm, which is one of the greatest hymns of all. It's a really huge sound, which I'll play it for you in a minute. Now there's various versions, like I said, there's various versions of the words, but the most popular tune is by Louis Bourgeois, who is in Switzerland, French Swiss, I guess, in the Genevan Psalter. And he didn't use William Kethe's words, but later on it was set. It was obviously, he was way before William Kethe. When was William Kethe? William Kethe was a Scot, or thought to have been in Scotland. And he was he was in Geneva in 1557. My golly. Translated the Geneva Bible in 1560 and contributed 25 psalms to the Anglo-Genevan Psalter. His version, so his version. So he was there at the time, probably after Louis Bourgeois, but it could have been at the time. Actually, he was only 50 when he died. I mean, in his 40s, he might have met Kethe. Anyway, and maybe he did. Maybe they knew each other. I mean, maybe. It's not very clear here. It's not very clear whether he wrote it to William Kethe's translation or not. It's not very clear. I mean, probably he did. I mean, it's too much of a coincidence otherwise. But I mean, Wikipedia, come on, you should spell it out. You should spell it out. Yes, he set the words to William Kethe. If that's what you mean, you should say it. Anyway, whatever. So that's the original tune dating back to 1550. The original tune and the original words from William Kethe. There's been other words used, of course, but anyway, I'll talk about that later. But cut to the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II was crowned on the 2nd of June 1953. She was only 25 when her father George VI died. And she was 25 years old, Queen of England and the colonies. So, as part of the coronation, Ralph Vaughan Williams wrote an incredible arrangement, huge arrangement to suit the grandeur of the new monarch. Fantastic arrangement, which I'm going to take you through very soon. I'll take you through very soon. Now, Vaughan Williams was one of the great English composers. Born 1872, died 1958. His father was a vicar, and he preached at Down Ampney in the Cotswolds. And I've been there. I've been to the church where he preached and sung a little bit, sung a bit of Lyndon Lee there. One of England's greatest arrangers and composers. He did compose quite a lot of stuff. In my opinion, it's a bit variable, but the work at his best, he did some fantastic stuff that's up there with the greatest of the English composers, along with, not that there's been a huge array of them, and they haven't normally been given the same respect that Beethoven and Bach get, but Vaughan Williams, Purcell, and oh God, who was it that wrote the Enigma Variations? Oh, Christ, I tell you, you don't want to get old. You don't want to get old. Your brain turned to mush. Edward Elgar. Edward Elgar is the person I'm looking for. So, Edward Elgar, Ralph Vaughan Williams, Henry Purcell, and there's a smattering of other lesser things like, Tallis and Catelby and Parry, and there's a lot of smattering of what are called lesser lights, but in their own, in their own way, they're great. But certainly I would say Vaughan Williams in the top 3 of the English composers. And I've had a bit to do with Vaughan Williams, which I'll just tell you a bit about. not that. Not that. Where are we? So one of the things that Vaughan Williams is known for are the songs of travel, with fantastic songs like, well-known songs like Bright as the Ring of Words. So where are we? What a great song. Music by Ralph Vaughan Williams, words by Robert Louis Stevenson. Now Robert Louis Stevenson wrote 40 poems in an album called Songs of Travel, and Vaughan Williams set, is it 9 of them or 10 of them or something to music, and I came along and I liked them. I loved them. Bright as the Ring of Words and The Vagabond, fantastic song, really great song. And I discovered that there were a heap more, there were all these other poems that Vaughan Williams did not set. So I set them. And mine are designed to mesh with Vaughan Williams's settings. So I also, of course, used Robert Louis Stevenson's words. So it's now a work of 21 songs written in the leader style for classical leader, for bass voice and piano. So it's a fantastic spared back discipline, gives the singer the chance to really express themselves, and likewise the pianist. So without Vaughan Williams' permission, I've dovetailed my works with his. We both used Robert Louis Stevenson, and it's a collaboration between me and him. That's not the only thing I've done. Not the only thing I've done with him. I also did. I liked his hymn Down Apney. I thought it was really good, but I also thought it's not quite right, so I rewrote it. I rewrote it. Ah, God, where's it gone? I rewrote it with words which are a bit of a dig at the elite, I suppose. They're a dig at the elite, and I made some slight changes to the melody. I thought his rhythm was a bit odd, and a few lines a bit odd, and I didn't like it, so I just changed it. Anyway, so there we go. There's another thing where I've had my way with Vaughan Williams, whether he likes it or not, like I have with a lot of people. So there you go. There's a link. I have a link with this guy, and I'm going to add to it here with another thing, another collaboration, post-mortem collaboration between W. Mars and R. Vaughan Williams. If I can just say, I deplore this practice of not using the hyphen in the surname. You've got a double-barreled surname like Vaughan Williams, use the bloody hyphen like everyone else does. Oh no, it's our tradition, we don't have to. Well, it's bloody confusing, people. Everyone else uses a hyphen. Bloody use it. I'm not interested in your elite public school excuses and your and Rafe. Everyone calls him Rafe. Well, you know, it's a West Country boy's nickname, and it belongs and it should stay in the West Country with boys' schools. He doesn't belong in the world of adults. His name's Ralph. Don't call him Rafe. It's the same with Rafe Fiennes. They call him Rafe Fiennes. Well, it's Ralph. God, you don't give a nickname to everyone that appears on the screen. You only give nicknames in a informal context, you know, in a sporting field or something. Use a nickname. If they're kids, use a nickname. But when you're an adult, I know there's exceptions, like Sting, whose real name's Gordon, and no one ever calls him Gordon. But there's exceptions. But if you're just changing Ralph to Rafe, and you're in a formal setting, it's Ralph, guys. Don't call it Rafe. Stupid. It's stupid. I don't care what the tradition is. I don't care what you think. It's stupid. Right, anyway. So, Ralph Vaughan Williams. Father was a preacher. He grew up an atheist in the beginning, but he soon became full-on Church of England hymn stalwart. And he did some of the best arrangement of English hymns ever. His contribution to the English hymnal is right up there with the greatest, especially his musical contribution, you know. Fantastic, the music work he did for the Church of England. And the greatest of all his contributions would be the Old Hundredth. Had to be great because it's got to be royal for the coronation of the new monarch. And it's like the days of Handel, when Handel wrote Zadok the Priest for the coronation of George II in 1727, and it has been used ever since for coronations. And it's great. Zadok the Priest. And it's not bloody Zadok the Priest. Stupid Poms who mispronounce shit. It's not Zadok. If it was going to be Zadok, you'd pronounce it Z-A-Y-D-O-K. They don't. It's Zadok. Got that? Zadok, not Zadok. I know this shit because I've sung this stuff. I've sung in a lot of choirs over the years. I know what I'm talking about. I've sung with church choirs. I've sung in big churches. I've sung a lot of big choral repertoire, religious repertoire. You can't really sing in a choir and not sing religious stuff, so I've sung a lot of it, even though I'm an atheist. And I've sung multiple times, more than I can probably remember. I've sung the Messiah. I sung Zadok the Priest with a full orchestra and in the choir, and also in the choir I've sung the Old Hundredth. And it was great. It was really great. It's it really is a fantastic piece of music, and let's have a listen to just how great this piece of music is. All right, let's go. Here is the choir of Westminster Abbey with an orchestra and trumpets and massive congregation of royalty performing Ralph Vaughan Williams' great English hymn, The Old Hundredth. Check it out.
Ralph Vaughan Williams, his version of All People That on Earth Do Dwell.
People are singing too early. Not yet. Not yet, people. It's coming. Now. Entire choir and congregation singing in unison, laying down the law. This is the law. This is the foundation of Christian faith. Full orchestra, pipe organ, trumpets, flourishes of trumpets. Lay it down, make it big, make it strong, hammer it home. There's a PM at the time, whoever he was, I can't remember. Okay, second verse. The congregation had to be silent. This is for the choir to sing. So it's choir, organ, orchestra. Gives a bit of variation, makes the congregation think. This is the genius of Vaughan Williams. He's throttled it back, brought it right back. Just got the choir singing a cappella with a trumpet descant. Fantastic contrast, really beautiful. Here we depart from the canon. Just pure SATB a cappella, but this is not the original tune. Vaughan Williams has constructed a counter tune. I'm not sure yet whether this is a true counter melody or it's just a counter idea. I'll investigate it later when I come to analyse the music. Fantastic contrast, and now we come back to the power and the passion. Laying down the law again. Everyone sing. Everyone sing, everyone play. Full tutti. This is it. This is the big statement. There's the royal family. There's the head of the Church of England on the left. This is the foundation of the English Church. It's got to be big, you know. You're going to come out with a topic like that, it's got to be big. And it is. Fantastic work. Vaughan Williams. Trumpets are magnificent. Welsh trumpets. Well, there it is. One of the greatest of all the English hymns. Perhaps the biggest, strongest, perhaps the biggest, perhaps the strongest. It's certainly up there, you know, with Jerusalem, which is also a huge, huge hymn. So, take these cans off now. That's great. Hopefully you'd agree that is a fantastic piece of music. Vaughan Williams has used the traditional arrangement mostly, but when we come to the musical analysis, I'll show you that he hasn't exactly used it. He's made a few little tweaks. Well done. And I think he improved it with his little tweaks, and of course he definitely improved it with his big trumpet flourishes and his complicated kind of semi-atonal stuff at the end. Really, really great. Anyone who thinks that Vaughan Williams wasn't a genius, have a listen to that, and you know, have a good listen to it, and ideally to sing in it, because when you sing that, when the full orchestra comes back in at the end, it really moves you. It's just fantastic. It's a very emotional thing. Right. Next, I'm going to talk about the words.